Locked On Fantasy, your daily NFL fantasy podcast. Part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, everybody. Welcome into the Locked On Dynasty podcast brought to you by On Location, the official hospitality partner of the NFL. It is the only place to score a once-in-a-lifetime Super Bowl ticket experience package. Visit onlocation.exp.com/SB56 for more information or search Super Bowl On Location. I don't know. We're getting very close to the Super Bowl, Marcus, but guess what? We still have no playoff team, so we don't know. We have the Green Bay Packers, but outside of that, we don't know.
And the Cowboys. Hold on.
That's
my
right.
Dallas Cowboys.
Congratulations to the Dallas Cowboys. So we have two NFC teams to have clinched playoff spots, but it's pretty wild. I think On Location is going to have plenty of surprises in store because we don't know how this rest of the season is going to shake out. We've got 2 weeks left, ready to clinch the fantasy playoffs. We're getting through the holiday season. Everybody's merry, ho, ho, hoing, but we want you to win. So.
Yeah, we do. And we should talk about Thursday Night Football last night, Kate, because it was a fun game. Like, it was a really, really good Thursday game. And we should talk about the return of AJ Brown, right? I think that's the right way to start, right? 11 catches, 145 yards and a touchdown. Listen, my 2-13 teams are so excited that AJ Brown decided to come out and play.
I mean, it's been a long time coming, and if you were patient, you were very much rewarded. And it was kind of hard to lock him into your lineups with absolute certainty. It's impossible to sit AJ Brown, but in the 2 games prior, 1 catch for 16 yards, 5 catch for 48 yards. Like,
yep.
It's hard. If you just slotted him right back in there, you might have been nervous, but you were very generously rewarded. And you know what? Like, there were so many missed opportunities in this game too from AJ Brown. There were some drops, there were some catches that he could have had, but didn't. And that's just unrealized fantasy points. So welcome back, AJ Brown.
All right. So, I love AJ Brown, but let's kind of reset where AJ Brown is at in the Dynasty community right now. So according to Dynasty League Football, their latest rankings, which actually took place this week, he is wide receiver 6. The receivers ahead of him: Justin Jefferson, Jamar Chase, CeeDee Lamb, DK Metcalf, Tyreek Hill. Are you still taking him over Devontae Adams, Kate?
Yes, I will.
Okay. Cooper Kupp?
Oof.
Yeah,
I think I will. And I'm actually going to roll with AJ Brown just strictly for the age, because I think career trajectory wise, I think their upside is pretty similar. Let me tell you though, I think the one name that pops out on that list, and it pops out again and again and again, we can't stop talking about him, DK Metcalf. AJ Brown over DK Metcalf. That is the storyline here. I mean, Tyler Lockett out of week 15, 12 targets. That is a season high for him. Just 52 yards. He has not scored a touchdown since week 8. He's had just one outing of 100 receiving yards or more this year. Yikes. AJ Brown holds all of the upside here, and I'm actually really surprised that DK Metcalf, with the streak that he's been on, continues to maintain the spot in the top 5.
I agree with you. I want to talk about another receiver, Kate, that we might take over AJ Brown. But before we do that, we should tell you guys about Built Bar. You guys know Built Bar. Built Bar is absolutely fantastic. This holiday season, grab the protein bar that tastes just like a candy bar, or even better than a candy bar, Built Bar. It's filled with so much holiday goodness, rich with great flavor, covered in chocolate, but amazingly low in calories, sugar, net carbs, and high in protein. You get the best of both worlds, delicious and healthy. There's so many great flavors to choose from. You guys know my favorite is the coconut brownie chunk. There's double chocolate, cookies and cream, or peanut butter brownie. Built Bar gives you that extra feel you need to bust down those mall doors and battle all the holiday shoppers. Or if you're just staying at home with your in-laws and they're loud, taking showers and doing all that kind of crazy stuff, right? Built Bar is going to help you get through the holidays. Go to BuiltBar.com and use promo code LOCK15 and get 15% off your order. Use promo code LOCK15 for 15% off at BuiltBar.com.
Marcus, let me tell you, we are traveling this holiday season in Built Bar. I ate like 30 Built Bars. We just drove 24 hours to Syracuse, New York. And thank you, Built Bar. You fueled my whole trip. So just shout out Built Bar. It's cookie dough, though. I didn't mean to correct you there.
Yes, that's a good one. We should also tell you guys about Stat Hero. Like if you want to just sit down, eat a Built Bar, and make some Stat Hero lineups, that seems like a pretty good way to spend your holiday weekend. No one plays daily fantasy sports to lose because winning just feels so much better. But traditional fantasy sports are a long-term losing proposition because you never know who or what you're up against. Stat Hero is the first of its kind daily fantasy sports platform where it's you versus the house in a head-to-head fantasy matchup. Winner takes all. And here's the crazy part. Stat Hero will even show you their lineups before you play and handpick the team that you want to face one-on-one. This never-before-seen innovation of a fantasy sports and sports betting hybrid has Stat Hero's players clocking odds that are over 4 times better than what they're used to. Why? Because you don't have to compete against thousands of experts or unknowns. Stat Hero puts you in control of your fate. With Stat Hero, you are in control of the stakes. You get to decide how much you're going to play for, and Stat Hero has absolutely no choice but to take it because they are daring you to beat them in a one-on-one matchup. Sign up for free right now at stathero.com/lockedon and use promo code LOCKEDON for a 100% deposit match. That is stathero.com/lockedon. All right, Kate, we talked about AJ Brown, who we both love, but we should really be talking about Deebo Samuel because he had another amazing game. 9 receptions for 159 yards, also added in 5 carries for 32 yards. Kate, do you realize on the season this year, he's missed a game. He's almost at 1,300 receiving yards, and he's already had 300 rushing yards this season. We're at almost like 1,600 total yards and 12 touchdowns for Deebo Samuel.
Yeah, and we still have a game left, and I mean, gosh,
2 games left for him.
2 games left. Oh my God, Marcus, I can't get used to this 17 game season. I can't do it. I refuse. But I mean, Deebo Samuel is just on an absolute tear. And I think I've mentioned this before. If you were at the FF Expo this summer, and we're attending some of those seminars, you heard Bob Lung, the famous Bob Lung consistency guide. He was telling us that John Lynch was like, he got to chauffeur him around during Hall of Fame weekend. And he said that John Lynch was all about the Deebo Samuel while we were all harping on Brandon Ayuk. He said, like, no, Deebo Samuel is who I am excited to see this year. And now we see why, because they have just unlocked a very, very talented wide receiver. But I mean, it just doesn't really matter in what way you get him the ball. He just does fantastic things with it in his hands. Even rushing attempts yesterday that looked like they were going to go for a couple yard loss, turns them into positive plays. He's incredible. So where do we rank Deebo Samuel? Do we give him dual eligibility? Because he's got almost as many rushing yards as Mike Davis at this point. I say we strip Mike Davis of his running back eligibility, hand it over to Deebo, and call it a day.
So this was my question to you. Like, AJ Brown or Deebo Samuel?
Ooh, man. Ooh. I'm going to go. This is a very tough one. I do think I still give the edge to Deebo just because I think he fits more of that prototypical alpha wide receiver one build. And just I'm loving the involvement that we see from Deebo Samuel. I love that they're just getting the ball to him in all sorts of ways. But I feel like we've seen like some inconsistencies from Kyle Shanahan that I'm just not totally trusting that he will keep it up.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
That's my biggest concern. I don't need to bank on AJ Brown's going to command targets regardless.
Can I just
Whereas
say
I think
this?
Debo needs to
If you
have
have either of
design
these
touches.
guys, these are like two of the
Yes.
most fun guys in fantasy to own, right? In Dynasty. Like
Yeah.
they're just incredible to watch. And it's so much fun to watch both of these guys because I feel like they're so unique, right? There's really not a player in the league like Debo Samuel that can play running back and wide receiver at a high level. And I don't know if there's any receiver in the NFL that has the physicality of AJ Brown and the athleticism. So I think it's really fun. Can we run through just a couple other guys from last night? Just give me your quick thoughts.
Absolutely.
Ryan Tannehill, 209 passing yards, also a passing touchdown, 22 rushing yards. Still a high-end QB2, probably in most leagues.
Yeah, I think so. Like I'm still comfortable playing him in a super flex league because I think the floor's relatively safe. And when he's on, the ceiling is pretty high. I feel like we haven't spent much time at his ceiling level this year, but I think you have to be impressed by the way they pulled it together in the second half there. I'm comfortable starting him up as a quarterback two with upside, like on a weekly basis. I just think that upside is so hard to predict.
I agree with you. Next one, Julio Jones, 1 catch for 7 yards. Now, he was dealing with a hamstring injury. It was kind of a shock that he even played. But, Kate,
Story of his career.
Yeah, I know. Since September 20th, over under 250 receiving yards.
I'm going to go under.
Yeah, it is. It's 219. No touchdowns yet this season.
Yikes.
Is the days of Julio even being a wide receiver 2 gone?
I think so. And I don't think he hasn't commanded targets in this offense, even when he was pretty much the only option on the field, just not commanding a big chunk of work. They haven't designed plays to get him the ball in his hands. I mean, the issue, this is...
How many targets do you think he's averaging per game this season?
I would say 3 to 4, if I had to guess.
Yeah, 4. And actually, since week 3, it's actually 3.5.
See, I was right on target there.
Yeah.
I mean, I think, and Julio Jones is a guy that I think if you did give him volume, I think he exceeds expectations there, but I don't think he's going to get it at this point in this career. And I don't honestly know if they just trust his overall health right now, because it's how many games has he left prematurely this season due to a hamstring injury, an aggravation? It's just that's what correct me if I'm wrong, that's what he was dealing with all last year too. I'm gonna say put him in with your Christmas or Hanukkah or Kwanzaa food and put him in the oven because he's done.
Yeah, he's cooked. Last one, Jeff Wilson, 14 carries for 45 yards, a touchdown. Also caught 3 passes for 12 yards. Wasn't a great day, but if you started him in fantasy, you got the touchdown. You probably got like 14 PPR points. He has got a decent amount of work over the last 3 weeks, like every game, at least 13 carries. Is he somebody that we can trust going forward, or is this still Elijah Mitchell's job, or maybe Trey Sermon's down the road? What do we think of Jeff Wilson?
Jeff Wilson is actually a really interesting player, because I do feel like out of there's a lot of bench players in Dynasty that you'll slot in and they whenever they're getting a little extra opportunity might not have the upside, but Jeff Wilson, he has had 31 active games since the 2018 season. He's performed as an RB1 in 20% of those games.
Yeah.
Which is absolutely, I mean, that's kind of crazy for a guy that rarely sees a significant touch volume. So Jeff Wilson, I think, is a really good guy that, like, once we see Elijah Mitchell come back, I do think it's Elijah Mitchell's show.
Probably.
But I think every time you see Jeff Wilson go back into the shadows of this offense here, he's a guy that I think you should trade for as a depth piece, because when he comes in and when he gets a workload, the upside is absolutely there. He's had 6 games of 20 or more PPR points, and he never touches the ball. Like I think that's pretty incredible. Now, say Elijah Mitchell comes back maybe this week. He's been dealing with a knee injury. Sounds like he's cleared concussion protocols, I believe. So I do think if Jeff Wilson if Elijah Mitchell returns this season, I think you have to play Elijah Mitchell. If he doesn't, I think Jeff Wilson is absolutely a start rest of season. But what would you be willing to trade for Jeff Wilson? Not while in the starting role, but once, say, Elijah Mitchell comes back, because you have to assume that, Trey Sermon is going to be in the doghouse a while longer. I don't know.
See, this is so tricky because, man, they did invest in Trey Sermon. They traded up for him. Elijah Mitchell has been good, and who knows who they're going to bring in next year? Like, they're probably going to bring in a running back. But let's go to Dynasty League football.
He's a restricted free agent.
Yep.
So Jeff Wilson, his contract does expire this year, but restricted free agent. So the 49ers could bring him back. And I actually, with the way that he's played when given the opportunity, I would be kind of surprised if they didn't bring him back.
All right, so let's go through some trades really quickly on Dynasty League football. Jeff Wilson for a 2022 third-round pick.
Yeah, why not?
Okay. Jeff Wilson for a 2022 second-round pick.
No.
That seems high, right?
That's, I think I draw the line at third, and I'd say, like, I have to be projected for a mid to late third.
Yeah.
Because this isn't a guy that will, he's not somebody that is commanding a starting job right now. He's a depth piece.
Yeah, so we're basically saying a third-round pick is probably the right price here. How about one more? Jalen Reagor for Jeff Wilson.
This is bad, but I'll go with Jeff Wilson here. At least when he's getting opportunity, he's scoring me some fantasy points.
Yeah.
Jalen Reagor ain't it, y'all. Give me Greg Ward over Jalen Reagor.
Stop it. All right, one more quick break to tell you guys about BetOnline. BetOnline has you covered this holiday season with more props, odds, and lines than ever before as football continues its march through the college bowl games and the pro football playoffs. BetOnline remains your number one spot for all the sports action this season. Head to the website or use your mobile device to sign up today and receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. All you have to do is use promo code LOCKEDON to receive your bonus. From basketball, football, NHL, boxing, and UFC, right to your favorite Vegas casino games. Don't wait to take advantage of all these amazing offers available for the 2021 season. BetOnline is the fastest and easiest way to bet on all of your favorite sports. BetOnline, where the game starts. All right, Kate, just a couple players really quickly. I just want to get your take on ahead of Week 16. I want to get to as many of these as possible, so let's make these quick. Sony Michel, do you have any confidence starting him this week against Minnesota?
Yes. Love the matchup, and he seems to be the guy for now.
Touches in the last 3 games, 24 carries against Jacksonville, 20 against Arizona, 18 against Seattle. Like, he's getting a lot of work. I think that's a go bump. What about Foster Moreau at the tight end position? Like, maybe if Travis Kelce doesn't come back from the COVID list, do you trust Foster Moreau in your lineup this week if you don't have Darren Waller?
No. I just haven't seen the upside there for Foster Moreau on a consistent basis. We've seen some low points without Darren Waller in the lineup, and I think we've gotten to the point where we can see that they are not a direct swap for one another. I'll pass on Foster Moreau.
How about Byron Pringle if Tyreek Hill does not play this week?
Yes, I love Byron Pringle, and I don't know why. I can't quit him. I mean, Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, both on the COVID list. Byron Pringle's had like a relatively safe-ish floor, maybe not over the last couple of weeks, but in the first half of the season, 3 games with more than 12 PPR points. Like, that's not too shabby. They get the Pittsburgh Steelers. Great matchup for the Chiefs. I think he could be in a really good spot.
What about Justin Jackson this week with Austin Eckler on the COVID-19 list?
Yes, I'm going to grab, and I don't know if you saw this, Marcus, or anybody listening. Austin Eckler told Dawson Knox to pick up his backup in fantasy football, which feels like collusion. I don't know what I like. Kamish, I need to know what we think about this this behind the scenes action with Austin Eckler and
I
Dawson
love it.
Knox. But he told Dawson Knox, "You got to pick up my backup this week." So I'm assuming Austin Eckler is not expecting to be on the field. I think Justin Jackson has been the guy that is going to be in line for those touches.
Anybody else you want to mention before we head out?
I do want to give a shout out to Daryl Williams. We already talked about the situation in Kansas City. I think Daryl Williams could be in a really nice spot this week to just function as a receiver for their team. He's done well when given the opportunities and targets. Last week we saw his work shift downward. Didn't see quite as many touches, just 5 on the day. But I think the receiving ability of Daryl Williams puts him in a nice spot. And I will be playing him in some of my playoff semifinals, and I'm comfortable with it.
So Justin Jackson or Daryl Williams this week? I'm asking you this because I'm making this decision in one of my leagues, so please help me.
In a full PPR, I probably lean Daryl Williams. As long as if Kelsey and Hill are inactive, I will lean Daryl Williams. Otherwise, just for touch volume, I'll probably lean Justin Jackson.
All right. That's our show. We're just doing a quick one because we know you guys are going to be doing holiday stuff over the next couple of days. We just wanted to jump on here and talk to you guys about some Week 16 stuff because we know you guys listen to the show. We know you guys are in your fantasy football playoffs. Maybe you guys are in your championship games this week. Wanted to help you out, right? So you can follow the show at Locked On Dynasty on Twitter. You can follow Kate at FFBallBlast. I am at Marcus_Mosher. I think the plan is, Kate, next week we're still going to be doing our regular shows. We'll make sure we check in with you guys. But we hope you have a fantastic holiday and enjoy the fantastic slate of games, Kate.
All right. Enjoy, guys. Good luck, and let's win some fantasy championships.
Let's do it.